Hey, what's happening, Facebook? It's your girl, Constance Carter. And I want to talk to you because I'm super inspired. I am super inspired right now. I just left my friend's house or my friend's company. And I wanted to share with you because I got so many nuggets. And I want to share with you some of the things that I got back from this meeting. So just to give you a little bit of background, I have a really good friend. His name is Rob Owens. And took a he took a business and he blew it up to 40. It's worth $40 million right now, and it will be 100 million by next year. But I wanted to share his story, just some of the things that I learned over when I talked to him today. I just came from his office. He has an office out here, and I wanted to share just like how inspired I am from this, because it was so cool. Now, Rob is one of the most laid back, down to earth people that you would ever meet. How I met Rob, he was a tenant of mine. And he had just gotten out of prison, and he'll tell you his story himself. He had just gotten out of prison, and I gave him a chance. I knew his sister, and I had given him a chance to rent my place. And he was the best tenant I ever had. I promise you. Like, he took care of that place so well, and I ended up selling it after he moved out because I was he just treated it like it was his own. But Rob is just that kind of cool dude, and so he built this business. I don't know if you guys see this behind me. It's called a bump box. And he actually invented this bump box. So let me just share his story with you because I think it's so unique. And the reason why I want to tell it to you is because something simple like this made him $40 million. And this business is going on to be $100 million. It's going to be It's going to be worth $100 million next month or next year. Rob had another recycling business, and he always would go to China to get like we used to buy like these hoverboards off, like when the hoverboards came out. Like, everybody I knew, if you know me, you go back to my post from 3, 4, 5 years ago, he gave everybody hoverboards. I had hoverboards for all my kids, and he would go to China and get these products, and then he would sell a bunch of stuff for Christmas. Well, one day he's in China because he was always going back and forth to China, and he said he was drunk. Him and his homie, they were drunk, and they was sitting at, they were talking. They had a little boom box, and it was like, man, you remember them boom boxes? And it was like, what do you think? What do you think would happen if we made a boom box? So they kind of figured out what the dimensions were. They were in China, and they just went and had a prototype built. Didn't look quite as good as this. And this is actually one of the old ones. He gave this to me 2 years ago. And so he was like, they just came up with a concept. They came up with a concept. They had a prototype built. He posted it on his Facebook or his Instagram page. I don't know if you guys know the rapper E40. E40 saw it, reposted it on his page, and E40 DM'd him and said, hey, I got 700 people who asked me about this thing. And he said, well, maybe I'm onto something. And he started producing them. And he said, and the thing about it is, it wasn't perfect when we started. It's still not perfect. There's still some things that we need to do, but I just did it. And it's an inspiring story because, well, now, he's, like I said, it's a $40 million brand. He just signed a deal with Walmart. He signed a deal with, every major sports company, out there, every NBA, NBL, hockey, baseball. I think baseball is NBL, NFL. He has licensing agreements with all of them. Monster, Snoop Dogg actually endorses this. Diddy endorses it. DJ Khaled, like every rapper has a bump box. I was at his warehouse, and I don't know if you could see this, but I was at his warehouse, and he has a whole, $10 million warehouse or whatever. He has like, I think $10 million worth of products. And in fact, Snoop, he was like, here's Snoop section over here. These are all, I don't know if you could see this, but this is his warehouse with just bump boxes all over the place. This man took an idea, a simple concept, Stacy. Yeah, hell yeah, it's dope. A simple concept. And he built something, and now it's a $40 million business going on to be $100 million business. And the thing about it is, we all have these things in our minds. We all have these ideas in our minds, 90% of us won't execute. And this is just a story. This dude is super scrappy, super nice. Like this guy, he would go, before all this, he would go to Starbucks. It'd be his birthday. He buying everybody at Starbucks something to drink. Like he's just the most humble, down to earth. Because he was going to be at our conference, our We Summit. He was going to be a speaker at our We Summit a few months ago that got canceled due to COVID. But if you look for his picture, you won't see him anywhere. He don't want to be seen. Super low key, super like under the radar. Good friends with my family. Good Christian guy. And, he knows every influencer, every celebrity, everybody. Last year, he was looking for people to endorse his brand. Now he has to turn people down. Like it's that lucrative for him. And he gave me something and he told me I couldn't show you the label. He told me I shouldn't show you the label, but he has this coming out now. It's a pager. It's a Bluetooth pager. And I think, it's obviously on his website, and I can't tell you I can't turn it around because it'll tell you who it's for, but it's for a major company, and he just gave me one of these. But this is a Bluetooth. This is another bump box. He has these little chains that he's coming out with the bump box chain that they're going to be giving away, I think at the Olympics or something crazy like that. So I wanted to tell you this. I just came on here to tell you this. If you have an idea, just follow through. Again, 90% of the people out there are not going to follow through on their idea, and God gave it to you. The idea doesn't belong to he who thinks it, but to he who executes it. And if you could just execute, like the stuff that he was sitting there telling me, he was like, I was scrolling through here in one morning and I thought about, and I found this, and, this is $2, but I'm selling it for $100. Like I'm buying this for $2. I'm like, his profit margins are insane. Oh, and then I just decided, this is kind of cool. And I implemented this and I sold out on this. Like it's so insane. And it sounds so simple because it is. Do you understand what I'm talking about, Donisha? It sounds so simple because it is. It is really simple. It's just a matter of execution. That's it. So when God gives you something, when God has gifted you with something, you have the internet. You could GTS, Google that shit, anything, because you could figure out how to do everything on Google, on YouTube or whatever. Figure it out. The main thing is just execute. COVID season has made so many millionaires. This man is business increased 333% since COVID. You know why? Because people are buying. People are still buying. So don't let this shelter in place stifle you from starting something that you've always wanted to start, because there are opportunities out there. Find your niche. Use Google, use YouTube, and just execute. I brought Charles, which is my operations manager, along with me to the meeting with me, and like we just sat out in the parking lot for a minute and we were just so inspired, because Rob gave us all his trade secrets. He was like telling us everything. Like I did this and I did this, and so nonchalantly, because what God has given him, nobody can take it away. You know what I mean? God had gave that to him, but what about what God gave to you? What about that thing that God gave to you? All you got to do is execute. And like I said this morning, I said on my live this morning, it's like you got to be consistent. Don't be weary in well doing, for in due season you will reap your harvest. So just keep being consistent with it. It's going to come to pass. So I'm not saying everything was easy for him, but because he was consistent, he has a $40 million business, and his business is getting ready to be $100 million. And he told me a couple years ago, he was like, look, Constance, I want to get my business to $100 million. I want to sell, and I want to do real estate, or I want to give back to charity. Hey, come work at Catalyst. In fact, he had his beginning of the year meeting here. Like he got a $30 million company, and he had his meeting at our offices, right? This is, cool cat. Very well connected. He's actually connected me with some great people in the industry, and they're always willing to give. And that's how you have to be too, is just being open to give and to give back, and, not holding stuff so close to you, because again, when God gives you something, it's yours, and you don't have to worry about anybody taking away from you. So God gave you something today. Execute. This man made a freaking boombox, and he has a $40 million company from this simple concept. And when he gave me this, He said, Constance, because I sold him, I sell him all his property. He said, Constance, he said, I got this bum box I want to give you. I'm gonna give you a red one, or I'm gonna give you the one I was gonna give to Jay-Z. And I was like, he said, which one do you want? I said, well, if it's good enough for Hov, it's good enough for me. So this is the Jay-Z. This is the one he was going to give to Jay-Z, but he gave it to me. And he made Jay-Z a whole nother one. But you could do the same thing. You could do the exact same thing. Execution is key. All right. That's all I want to say. I'm super excited. And I want you to be just as excited, because I know that you can, there's enough abundance out there for everybody in the world. There's enough abundance out there for you too, if you want it, for those who want it. But if you don't want it, whatever. But if you do, you can get it. You just got to go after it and be consistent. Execute. Monica, execute. Rochelle, execute. All right. All right, y'all. That's all I want to say. Peace and blessings, guys. I got to get some work done. Peace.